Good evening. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, I want to talk to you about becoming an accredited investor so that you can invest in startups if you don't meet the standard criteria. Before we get to that, I just want to share a couple updates of things going on with me. So, my life is continuing to move closer and closer to the startup world. I've got three or four different things going on. The first is that I am considering being a co founder in a startup. I've been invited to be one. Really great startup, great founder, love them to death. There's a couple of things to work out on my end, nothing to do with the opportunity or them, but considering doing that. So going back into actually being actively involved in the startup. On the second front, maybe making a change within my career, going to work for one of the largest startup investors in the United States. Excited about that opportunity. And then finally, going to be doing some work with my close friend Eric. I've mentioned before, he is one of the partners in Sheltaway, which is an angel investing syndicate here in the southern United States. They have, I think it's 12 different cities that they pull deals down from and they invest in. I'm going to be doing some work with him and also looking to invest in some of the companies that he finds deals for. So if you are interested in investing in startups, a lot of the times you have to be what's called an accredited investor, particularly through some of these syndicates like Eric's and others. You need to be an accredited investor. First of all, let's talk about what is an accredited investor. To be considered an accredited investor, you have to have certain income and wealth benchmarks met. So, two of the easy descriptions are $1 million in net worth, and that excludes your primary residence. So, if you have equity in your home, which a lot of Americans, their main asset is their house that they have, it's worth 300,000 and they owe 100,000 on it. That means they have 2,000 in equity that goes positively toward their net worth. But the new laws don't allow you to count equity in a primary residence at toward that $1 million net worth. So you have to exclude that. So that means you're going to have $1 million in other places and other assets. A lot of people can't meet that criteria, so they can't be considered an accredited investor. The second piece of it is all or I'm sorry, it is a second piece, but it's not an and. So you can just meet the net worth requirement, or you can meet a net income requirement. I'm not 100% I've got these numbers correct, but I believe it's for an individual $200,000 a year of annual income for 2 years in a row, or $350,000 as a combined household. So if you can't meet that net worth requirement, you can't meet that net income requirement, then you can't invest in some of these great opportunities that syndicates that are out there find opportunities in. And the reason those rules are in place is to protect people, to make sure they're not investing in opportunities and they don't have the ability to sustain losses, right? So now there's another way that you can become an accredited investor, and it's something I'm doing right now, is going and getting particular securities licenses. Now you can't get life and health licenses, but you have to have particular securities licenses. And the one I'm studying for is the Series 65, which will turn you into what's called a registered investment advisor, an RIA. And it's a securities license. And if you have that securities license, and even if you don't meet the net worth requirement, and even if you don't meet the net income requirement, you are considered an accredited investor because you're now educated on securities by going through that licensing process. So if you are someone who would really like to invest in startups, you would like to take opportunity in investing some of these businesses that you normally may not get access to if you're not an accredited investor, and you can't meet the net worth requirement and you can't meet the net income requirement, then you can just go get a securities license and just like that, become an accredited investor. Till next time, I hope that helps. Have a great day.